What if your story could ignite a movement? At New Solutions Network, we merge truth, resilience, and reinvention, fueling shows that cut past the noise and light up what really matters: human potential. Police, athletes, survivors, incarcerated folks, visionaries, we bring raw, real voices the world needs to hear. Want to share your story? Want to sponsor change? Now is the time. New Solutions Network, unlocking the future, one voice at a time. Hi there, and welcome to another Natanya Experience. My guest today, well, I don't even know how to introduce you. I can say your name, I can do a little Queen Esther Lamour.
Thank you.
The fabulous, if you can't tell just by looking at her, she is in the fashion world, and she is here to talk about her journey through the ups and downs of the fashion industry, her career, her challenges, maybe some health stuff if she wants to get into it, and just what it's like to live this fabulous life that everyone from the outside must think is wonderful all the time. We spend a lot of time, especially in a service industry, right, trying to make everyone else have their best day, their best moments. But for you, behind the scenes, there's a lot of burden.
Yes,
a lot
chaos.
of chaos. Yeah.
They're just looking at the pretty full picture out, but they're not looking at what's come with it behind. But it's a beautiful career to have. We have our ups and downs. We have our perks. We have goods and bads, some high and low. But at the end of the day, it'll always work out at the last minute.
Yeah.
When you least expect it.
And that's it. You have to have faith in that.
Yeah, that's
even
it.
when the storm is in front of your face.
I never show them that I'm like stressed out.
Yeah.
Especially when you reaching out to showroom designers, they're not getting back to you on time. You be like, oh my God, what should I do next? But it's always good to have influencer friends. When you do have influencer friends, they have all the names. Like they have extra, they have all the brands you can think of.
And that gives you a little
Give
leverage and
leverage.
lift. Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta send out emails. It depends on what, do they have their sizes? Do they have the look you're going for? Not only that though, it's just like if they are available, and then you gotta wait until they're ready for you. Sometimes if you have a good relationship with the showroom, with the designers, could just like make a phone call and like I'm coming. Sometimes I roll up in them. They be like, oh my God, we forgot to check our email. Some of them don't even check the email unless when you roll up in there, you be like, did you get the email I sent you? They be like, oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't check the email and stuff like that. I'm swamped. I'm behind a lot of things. I don't have an assistant. My assistant's not here. It's just like, okay, when I roll up, they was like, okay. That's when they like, okay, we're going to give you clothes. I don't even check the email. I just roll up. My stylist friend be like, Esther, this is not, I'm like, watch me. Like I remember
You're not phased.
I'm not, yeah. So I remember last time I was getting ready to style my client for the SP Awards, and we needed that gown. And I sent the email out for like we sent the email out a week ahead. She never answered her email. While I'm outside picking up I was going from different showroom to another showroom, but everybody gave me clothes though anyway. So I finally went to her. I rolled up in the guy that I really wanted, had my heart, and the client really wanted that dress. So I rolled up in there. My sister was like, I'm not going in there. I was like, well, watch me. I went. She said to me, I'm sorry, Esther. I didn't have time to check your email. I'm just like, yeah, but I've been calling you, texting you, email you, everything.
So people don't realize sometimes that when they're in their own storm, how that causes all the storms around them. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit. Let's orient people to your story a little bit, because we're gonna skip around, and that's okay, because social media is gonna chop it up anyway. Let's talk a little bit about coming to the States and where you grew up and some of the little bit of like the little Esther story.
Okay, well, I'm from Haiti. I was born there, raised, but I grew up in Miami and Connecticut. First Miami, then New York, then Connecticut. So I started as a school teacher.
That's right.
I always loved fashion because my mom always get like custom clothes made for us my brothers and me and my sister, we always dress the same into fashion, and I always have an eye for it. And coming from a Caribbean background, they want
Vibrant.
you to be a lawyer, a doctor, everything. So I took the easier way out. So I decided to do school teaching. So I got myself a job and as a substitute, and they ended up paying for my education, and I didn't have to pay any money out of my pocket, which is a good thing. And after graduation, but one thing since I was in middle school, I always dressed up.
Yeah, you told
Like,
me that. They were
yeah,
like, what
yeah,
are you doing working
yeah,
in a school?
yeah. What are you
Like
doing
they
in the
noticed
school?
there
Yeah,
that you were meant to fly.
yeah. My director was like, "You should be in fashion. You should not be a school teacher." I'm just like, "What?" I was like, "Okay," because it was like the way you come to class, this work, you like the best one, and all the teachers always come to my house, ask me, "Can I get them dressed?" Da, da, da. Fast forward.
You were basically the informal
Yeah,
fashion stylist while you were a teacher, right?
And people used to watch me
Yeah.
coming out my house in the window, see what I'm wearing. I didn't know that until like
They told you
they
later.
told you
Yeah,
later. It's
later.
like, we be
And you were like,
watching
what?
you. What? I'm like, we be at the window watching me, just like we just wanted to see what you got on. And then they said to me, "You never had the same clothes on." I'm like, oh. I'm like, I don't know if I should take it as a compliment or should I just like scared?
Yeah. And also be like, why are they
yeah,
paying attention to
yeah,
my
like why y'all
rotation of
watching me on the
clothes?
window? Or how do you guys know I don't wear the same clothes? But fast forward, it was
FIT, right?
what happened was I ended up at FIT. One of my good friend, her name is Yannick, I will never forget. She said to me, "Let's go to Wendy Williams show." I said,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And you,
So I was just like, no, I don't want to go because she says it's not like you love your job anyway.
You didn't want to get in trouble
I don't want to
because
get in
you were
trouble
gonna
because I don't
go.
know, like, you know how Wendy always had the best dress, or if you have the best shoes, she put the camera on you. And I'm just like, I didn't want to go through that because just in case they see me on TV, they're like, oh, she called out of work just to be on the Wendy Williams show. But you best believe it, I was like, you know what, I don't care. I just went. You best believe the camera was on me. So after Wendy Williams was over, FIT, Wendy Williams show is behind FIT. So we went to Chipotle. Chipotle was across the street from FIT. So after we ate, I kept looking, eating them. I'm like, okay, my God, I want to go to that school. But I'm just like, this is what I always wanted to do. My friend was like, well, let's just go get information. So after we ate, we went in there, got information. We went to the wrong building. It was meant for me.
But the wrong building was the right building.
It was the right building. So when what's for you is for you, God will direct you. So, and after what happened, so we went to the right building, and then I'm like, I'm asking question. My friend was in the back doing background. She says, "It's not like you like your school and your job anyway. Why don't you just go for it?" So I'm taking information. The lady was like, if you want, she was like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Well, I wanted to be in the fashion industry, and I don't know because I don't have my transcript. I graduated a long time ago." So she was like, "That's fine." Next thing I was signing up for classes.
Right.
And I'm just like, she said, "No, you don't need a transcript test." And I'm like, "What?" She said, "Yeah, we're gonna put in the styling, we're gonna put you in the styling program." I was like, "Oh, okay." Next thing I know, I signed up for a class. I will never forget that day, May 20th, 2014. And I'm just like, I went home, went back to work. They was like, "We saw you on TV." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I started, like, I said, you know what? I got into FIT. That was the biggest, because FIT is not easy to get in. It's a very compatible school, but it was God.
Yeah.
And finally,
and then you looked and you said, I want to go there.
Yeah.
And within
You
a short
gotta
period of time,
manifest.
you were going
Yeah.
there. And then you were able to say to the school, "Thank you, but I'm going to do this."
Yeah.
And they were like, "If you ever want to come back." You
Yeah.
told me, you said,
Yeah.
"Thank you, I'm not
I'm
coming
back.
back."
So I start.
Although maybe you might come back someday as a
Yeah.
fashion teacher for
And
them,
then it's
or
funny.
something, do a program.
After I did that, and I just sent out my resignation. I put in everybody's mailbox.
Yeah.
So the whole entire school know Esther is leaving.
Esther is
So
leaving
they
the
told
building.
me a party, and the principal came to my class and said, "You know, you always could come back." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but it's not fair to me. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to the parents." So I'm
Your
just
heart,
gonna,
it wasn't in it.
It wasn't in it. I'm done. I did 14 years of teaching. I'm done.
Yeah,
She
14
said,
years is
yeah.
like a tour of service.
And I end up, and I was going to class, come back, and then
Right, because you were commuting.
I was
from
commuting a lot
Connecticut.
from Connecticut, and then one of the guys came to our class and recruited me, and said, "How would I feel like working backstage for Fashion Week?" There's always been my dream working for Fashion Week. I work with
It literally came to you
yeah,
and
came
said,
to all of us and said, and then I sent out the email. Next thing I know, I was working for everybody. Oh my God, Tom Ford, Tom Brown, Moschino, Jeremy Scott. I came on the Daily Front Row magazine with Gigi and Hadid and Bella Hadid. And oh my God, and my professor took the whole entire magazine and brought it to FIT and put it everywhere. And they gave me a stand ovation backstage. I was like, wow. And then I started interning for a lot of big names. Like I started as my first magazine job, my first internship job was with Harper's Bazaar magazine.
Harper's Bazaar.
Yeah, Harper's Bazaar. It was Kate Moss. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then the girl that I worked with was Kanye West stylist that had worked with Kanye West. And then she said to me, she was like, come to the computer to see your work. I was like, oh my God. And I didn't know nothing about New York City. I was getting lost from left and right.
Well, that happens to everyone.
Yeah, picking up stuff, dropping the stuff to the point that I was ready to quit. My mother was like, don't quit, you got it to the wrong, you just go ahead and do it. I almost left their clothes in the middle of New York City because I didn't know what, everybody kept giving me the wrong address, where to go.
They call it trial by fire, yeah?
It was below 0 degrees outside.
So, fast forward, now things are great. We just realized something kind of funny when we were sitting down, even though we've talked and been doing stuff, that one of my favorite events of last year that apparently is a regular thing, and I didn't put it together that you were the one who styled the crew that I was with at Ohika, and that was so much fun and a magical time, and everybody was like flexing. And then just today we put it together, and it's really interesting how all the worlds connect. Right, we're coming from different ways of being, different lifetimes, school teacher, pharmaceutical world, rappers, and everyone coming from all different places, right? Yeah. We often talk about good stuff, which we were, but this show is also about helping people really see that everyone who's having great success on the outside often has a lot of struggle on the inside or in their life. It might be with, an addiction, a depression, an illness, and you have had your share of fun stuff to talk about in that department.
Yes.
So with your permission, you said we can go into, you've had some serious, scary challenges, and kind of Soul Sister Alliance style, like me, you were trying to deny, right, that you were sick or that you were even in discomfort, and you were trying to work through until a time when you could not.
Yeah, my body was just
finished,
shutting down.
So do you want to talk us through maybe that struggle before you were like really hospitalized in terms of what what you're moving through? You can do that?
Yeah, we could do that. So I got a cool job. I ended up landing a cool job with this Italian brand. I ended up brought the business to the map. They were down, but they brought them to here where they are right now. So what happened was I was ignored the sign.
Yeah, ignoring the signs.
I ignored the sign, and my thing is I'm a people pleaser, and I need to stop doing that. And I feel like when I put myself first, I try to. I feel like I'm being selfish, but
you don't want to let anyone down, or
you
the
don't want to let
idea
them down
of letting
because
someone
people
down.
call me for everything. It's just like I'm always deliver, and I don't like making people disappointed, but I was putting everyone first before me. I ignored the sign, everything, to the point that I ended up with so much pain. Even the day before I went to the hospital, I had to do a casting call for someone. And then my friend was like, who's in the wheelchair, he said to me, Esther, I'm gonna take you to the hospital because this is too much. I ended up in the hospital. They run so many tests. I ended up in the hospital for a whole week. And then the following week, they called me to give me the test result. and it was like, we couldn't give it to you on the phone.
That's right. They made
So
you come in
They won't
person.
come in person. And I started like, I'm like, where can he be? I'm
On the
like,
phone.
On the phone. Like, okay.
I have to go there.
He's a go there. And I started panicking.
Yeah.
My anxiety started. I'm like, okay, I got there. They put me in the room. I'm just like, okay, this is not good. So the doctor told me that I believe you have cancer. I'm just like, are you serious? And first thing she said to me, do you have any? And I'm like, cancer do not run in my family. Like, where do you get this from? I said, you better run that test again. So she said we did it over and over again. I said, okay. And then she said to me, do you have any question for us? I was like, yes, I do. My first question was, that come out my mouth was, am I gonna die?
I know. It's
Oh my God, my whole world shattered. And then thank God my mom and my sister
You said that
nurses.
they said to you, well, everyone's going to die
Yeah,
sometime.
she said, she was like, one of the nurses said to me, we all gotta go sometime.
Yeah, sorry.
And so my mom heard her over the phone, and my sister, she didn't know that it was on the phone. My mother, my sister was like, put it on the phone. And then I'm like, my friend want to talk to you. My mom was like, do you know who I am? And then she started like, after my mom and my sister hung up the phone, she came back and apologized. She said, I didn't mean it. She said, I didn't know this. And I'm like, I'm not just anybody. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. I have a lot of backup behind me. I have a lot of support. I have cousins who's a doctor. My sister.
Or how about this? I'm a human being.
Yeah, I'm a human.
How about that? How about that?
I'm like, for you to say that to me, she
No,
really
it's
hurt
awful.
my feeling. So that's when they started getting me therapy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, I don't need no therapy. I'm going home. So I walked from the hospital home because I was so pissed. I got home, I slammed the door. I was so mad at God. I cursed God out so much. I'm like, what if you let that happen to me?
I gave you my faith.
I gave you my faith. This is what you do. And you know my situation. My life was about to just begin, and this is what you did. I slammed the door. I was so pissed. And then my brother called me. He was like, and you could hear the hurt in his voice. He said, I'm so sorry going through this. I wish there's something we can do. My mom was like, you know what, the next morning, that night, I called the pastor, started praying. And I'm just like, I'm not ready to go. Not right now, because I have a mission to accomplish. And I'm not ready to go. That's what I was saying to myself. Yeah. And then I cried myself to sleep. The next morning, my cousin picked me up. We went to Connecticut, and we got another opinion. So I stayed there, and then they took the tests. They said I had cancer. But next thing I know, a good job opportunity came along. That day I had cancer. My doctor said to me,
we need to do surgery, and you need to do chemo. And you're like, but I got this job.
Yeah. So I did the surgery.
In that way, right? That's why we bond over these crazy stories, because you were like, well, I have to do this.
Yeah, I did the surgery. They take the tumor out. I end up in hospice.
Yeah.
No,
remember when they said, do you know what hospice is?
So when I did the first surgery, they put me on ICU, and then they came and got me the next morning to do another surgery again.
Yeah.
I ended up with a thing under my arm, and I had to go home and like calculate what color is it, how many this, and it was a lot. And finally, and then I got a phone call, asked me if I want to come to the BET Awards. I said, sure. They was like, you're going to be working. The guy that asked me to work with, I ended up being assistant.
Now, the people who called you for the BET Awards, did they know you just had a double cancer surgery? Or you were like,
I didn't tell nobody.
Oh, sure, I'll do the BET Awards.
No one knows I had cancer to this day. Nobody knows. I didn't tell no one until we kept it in our family, because my mom don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
And then she said, you don't know who's doing what. And you have a lot of opportunities.
Right, and then people would
lose
lose confidence or move on, or even out of a kindness. But you don't, and when you're your own brand or your own business, even if you have
you gotta keep going. Yeah.
I mean, that's why we related on a lot of those, right?
I didn't take time to heal
or any of it.
The person I ended up working with.
It was LA, right?
I flew from LA.
Yeah.
My doctor said you could go, but when you come back, you gotta do chemo and radiation. I said, okay. So got there, I get tired every time. Like my body was just
people were noticing. They were like, do you want to come to this? It's always parties at
my
those
arm
events.
started swelling. And then, with this, next thing I know, I ended up working with Chris Brown
Yeah.
and Tamar Braxton. This is like, they look good on my resume. And I never been on, that was my first awards show. And get to see everyone and they dressing room, everything. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And then I didn't even go out that night. There's a lot of events going on, party, everything. Every time I'm done working, I'll go straight to the hotel. My friends kind of like, they noticed something
was
wrong.
off. Like, why is Esther, this is a once in a lifetime party and she doesn't want to go?
It's not like her.
Right.
Finally, they kept asking question. So they all got to get into my hotel room. And I finally tell them, I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The reason why you guys wonder, like, why I'm always tired, I'm always elevate my arm with the pillow. I'm always not eating and stuff like that. And I'm in pain. They have no idea. So I tell them that I have cancer. And they was like, what? They was like, wow. They all started like crying. Some of them, they're men too. And they was like, oh my God, Esther.
Of course, they love you.
Yeah. And they was like, why bad things? All of them was like, why bad things always happen to good people? It makes me even cry even more. I ended up with pain. I did all the job that I done. It was time for me to go home. I've been in pain. I called my doctor. My doctor said, if you're getting worse, go to the hospital while you're in LA. I said, no, because I don't have nobody to support me. I'm going to finish what I need to do. Did the job. And then left LA. It was a good experience. Love it. Enjoy. But from the airport, they can pick me up in a wheelchair inside the plane. And then I went straight to Columbia Hospital.
Yeah.
And I never went home and I never left. And then I ended up being, it was just a lot. It was a roller coaster. My whole world upside down. I didn't know if I have a mother. I lost my memory. Yeah. I didn't know when people come see me. Yeah. I don't know who's there. I'm always going in and out. And I'm taking I'm drugged up. I'm not eating. Yeah. And half of the time, I don't know. I had so many people supporting me, and I don't know how to walk. I was in a wheelchair, everything. I was like pretty much like 99 pounds. Like you could tell I was sick. People come see me, they recognize me, and I remember my mom. She's so tough. I got it from her. She's such a strong woman. My mother lost 60 pounds. And then she never closed her eyes. My mother used to travel back and forth from Atlanta to New York City. She slept in my room when I was I was in a college floor. So that floor is very quiet, like set floor. And I ended up having like friends. We all supporting each other. Everybody had cancer, but everybody had different cancer.
Right, and now
every time I turn around, somebody's coming out of a body
I want to
bag.
pause you here because this is another moment. You told me this before, but and all those friends are no longer here.
So I love all four of us. I'm the only one that made it.
Survived. Because there was some serious stuff.
And I remember before they're gone, they said to me, Esther, you're a celebrity stylist. You gotta fight for us.
Because you have a voice.
She said to me, you have a voice for us. She said, they was like, keep going. You have to fight for us, Esther. You gotta fight for us. Come on. Do you know who you are? And we all went home, and I came back. The doctors didn't want to tell me they'd gone, but I find out. Yeah. One of them was one of my best friends. Yeah. Her name is Linda. I will never miss. They call us the two peas in a car. Her name is Linda Cooper. And I remember when she used to come to my room, she used to give me a massage on my feet because I was the worst one out of them. And she said, Esther, we're going to heal. We're going to come out like a beautiful, we're going to be inside a cocoon and come out here like a beautiful butterfly. That was the last word she said to me. I ended up in the rehab. I lived in rehab for a year because I had to learn how to walk. I had to learn how to, before my arm was just like, it was just a lot. It was just a lot. And I'm just like, I'm here for them. That's why God put me in this platform for a reason. So you sort of, you reconnected with faith because it was a journey. It was a journey. And then you had to sort of find that to keep going. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about
what does keep you positive? Because without revealing too much, you're still dealing with some health, serious health stuff now, but you're here, and thank you for making the
You're
journey.
welcome.
And what do you tell yourself? To pump yourself
to
up
pump myself up.
when you're like
honest with
looking
you.
at your arm and it feels.
I'm not gonna lie. I do have difficulty,
Yeah.
and I need to remind myself all the time. Yes, do I have suicidal thoughts? Yes, I do. Am I getting depression? Yes, I do. Because you woke up, you were born with 2 arms, and next thing I know, your arm is dislocated, and then you don't have enough mobility on that arm. You're gonna live with this for the rest of your life. And they cut my nerve damage to 20-something lymph nodes, and then I'm still getting treatment at my house, and I'm still going to the doctor to check. No one knows what I go through, but what I keep telling myself, Esther, you're here for a reason. Do I go through?
You found you're leaning into your passion, your family,
I lean into
and
my
your
passion.
friends.
I lean into God. That's the most important things I do. I lean into God. Without God, I would not be here. And I have a good support system. Everybody loves me. I just realized I'm like, wow. And then what kept me busy? Not to think, my job kept me busy.
Yeah,
People call me for
a bit.
everything. Yeah, I travel.
I mean, you're basically a fashion fixer. Is an insult to the creative value of it. But what I mean is, it's like they literally come to you in crisis all the time.
Yeah, fashion saved my life.
Yeah.
Because when I was in the hospital, I have celebrity come and see me, everything, and they would bring me like magazine, In Style magazine, all that, and I used to look at it, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta get up and fight. I remember I had.
You're like, I could do better than that.
Yeah, I do.
I know you
and
do.
I'm like, I said, no, I should. Everybody's like, I should be a fashion police.
I knew. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I was like, I bet she was like, I got to get back to work. This is a mess.
This is a mess. It's like,
I knew that's
the
what
red
you were
carpet.
thinking.
I'm like, what are y'all doing? So the thing about it, I will never forget that day when I had 3 different treatments. None of them responding to my tumor, and I remember when the doctor called my mom into the office and explained it to her, and then.
We okay?
Yeah, you go.
The same thing, and then after what happened, the doctor came after they speak to my mom. They come to me. They was like, we're gonna do one more treatment for you. They went and got they did a research
For the clinical trial.
They did a clinical trial for me. They was like, if this doesn't take,
Basically a 1 in a million billion
Yeah.
chance.
so
It's a miracle story. I mean, you're a miracle story.
So they said, if this doesn't take, we're gonna have to take you. We're gonna have to take you to the hospice until you're ready to go. They was like, you know what hospice is? I'm like, yes, I do, because I watched people going to the hospital in front of me. So next thing I know, they called my mom, my family. They was like, Miss Simon, the treatment is working. My mother was like, I told you, I named my daughter for a reason. And then,
I want to meet your mom
Yeah,
someday.
yeah.
I like that fire.
yeah, my mom was like, I told you that it was gonna work. My daughter's
Yeah,
gonna
you're
be
like,
fine.
she said, of course.
She kept saying, my daughter do not have cancer. That's what she kept saying to them. They was ready to do my funeral, everything. But I'm here. God gave me a second chance, and I'm gonna take advantage of that. I wanna come out. I'm working on a compression sleeve. I wanna do it for athletic people. I wanna do it for older women, senior citizen who's in rehab. They always have like feet problem, hand
Right, for the
problem.
edema and the
And then
swelling.
you see the basketball player and they always have the hand whatever. So I want to do that and have a voice for them. And then I want to write a book as well too, because I want to help people.
That's right.
Yeah, with my story, because
You are.
what happened to me can happen to anyone. And what God did for you, do it for you. Because people don't understand that cancer is not easy.
No.
And I know that God gave us the stronger battles to the stronger soldiers.
Yeah.
And I'm a soldier.
Yeah.
And I know that, and I don't want to let them down. Yeah. So now I'm here.
That's right.
I've been traveling, do the BET Awards, the Grammys, the Oscars,
Got a
everything.
fashion show in 2 days in the Hamptons.
And I just got a write up at Essence Magazine.
That's right.
And my client was rated the best dress for SP Awards. So I'm ready. What's next? but I know what's next. And then another thing that I'm working on too, I have another business that I do. Me and my partner, we partner with restaurants. So we manage like influencers and talent. So
Oh, the ones with they come for the dinner.
come
That's
for
what you said.
dinner,
Come for the dinner. The
for
influencers come,
everything, yeah.
and they get it
They
comped, but they have
yeah,
to come and
yeah, you know, so
show
they,
up and
yeah,
glow up and
glow up
do
or
that.
whatever, and then just tag them and do
Right.
a reel.
Right.
And then I also,
And then everyone kind of gets a little
yeah,
benefit.
Yeah, everybody get a benefit.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
It. And they go to the nice restaurant too. And then I'm also I'm also growing an Empire internship program. Like if anybody have an event, they're looking for interns.
Right, so you
they
can
reach
fund,
out to
and then you
us
train them
and
for
train-
how
yeah,
to behave
and
at
they
these
pay
things.
us for that, yeah.
And there's a lot that goes on there too.
Because styling ain't it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah, not all the time because it's slow right now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now it's picking up. But
So,
you always got to have a different type of revenue.
Fashion Week in New York City is coming up too.
Yes.
And so I know you're really getting busy with that.
Yeah.
And nothing obviously can stop the warrior queen, Esther.
No.
But I thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much
coming
for
and
having
sharing
me.
all of this. And this woman is such an
you.
inspiration to so many people. I'm so honored that you sat with me to share this.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
And
I wanna
obviously,
tell my
we're going to be
story.
seeing each other out and about. She did not style me, although I do have to give a little shout out. This vest was made by Stitches by Stay. I met Stacy at the street fair, and she happens to live in your town in Somerset, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
So check out Stitches by Stay on Instagram. But I am kind of coveting this gold outfit. So for next time, if you see it on screen, you know where I was inspired from, because we do have a thing for gold.
Yes, we do.
But keeping it light, because this was some heavy stuff. But just thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your openness. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for coming.